Hello there, let me introduce you to a 3D printed shoe.
King of the road, trailer for sailoring, man, trailer for sailoring. Ain't got no cigarettes, but
As you have seen in the trailer, this is the 3D printed shoe. It's a version 2 and only the second version that is as good to be a shoe. So, in this video, I want to show you its key features, like the detached tongue and stuff like this, and partly how I made it, and then a few things I want to tackle in the third version. Let's get started with the sole. And here you can see it from the bottom and also from the side. I hope you can see, or at least guess, that it's made from three parts. First the back part, then the front part, and this black part, which you can call it the pad, which is glued on top of that, primarily on top of this seam that is here, where I glued the first two parts together so that it couldn't break right there. I think that's just for stability, but I think it looks good too. Then I also have implemented this X-shaped part right here, which first of all looks very good, and you don't really have a lot of weight on this part right here from the anatomy of your foot, so you don't really need this material there. But I think I cut out too much on this version, so I like to have a bit more material for the next version. Let's continue with the side profile of the sole. As you can hopefully see, it's a bit more bent than the first version. There's just two stripes, and now it's a little bit bent, but for the next version I try to bend it a little bit more. I think the bending is very important, and it also looks better. Here you can see Nike's and Adidas approach with the Vaporfly and the Ultra Boost, which are awesome shoes. And for the lower line of the shoe, you can see they are bent way more. First of all in the back and in the front, and then the top line or the upper line, where the sole is connected to the upper, is also curved more, and primarily it's curved differently, so more like your foot actually looks, and not just a simple curve as I have. And that could help a lot, especially for standing more in the shoe and not on top of it.
King of the road, trailer for sailoring, man, trailer for sailoring. Ain't got no cigarettes, but
Now I get to the connection between the sole and the upper. That's quite interesting, and it worked very good. As you can see right here, maybe, I stitched everything together. So first of all the different upper parts, which worked okay, but it doesn't look quite as good as I hoped. You can see it's also over here. Yeah, right there. And then I stitched, as I told you, the upper to the sole, and that worked quite well, although it took like forever. So it was not very nice to stitch it, but eventually it worked, and was very hard. So like I started here, I got all the way around here, and that worked okay. But then this part, as it you can't take it off as I did it before when starting, so I had to get my hand in here to stitch from the inside to the outside, and that wasn't quite easy. Let's get to the inside of the shoe. And if you remember, the last shoe was a total mess in the inside because of the lighter I used to melt the parts together. And now it's a lot better because I just stitched it, and there was also a perfect place where I could stitch, like this extra thing right here.
King of the road, trailer for sailoring.
Let's continue with the tongue, and that's maybe the biggest improvement from the last version, is that I just had this mesh, this upper mesh, and just a few holes for the lashes. But now I really have a tongue, which is a detached tongue, so we don't need a lot of flags around the tongue area, and that's where the detached tongue is for. And then we have those 4 holes on each side, which then, with the shoelaces, go over the tongue. And I really like the shape of the tongue. It could be even a little bigger, and yeah, it works perfectly. Just here, you can't really pull it together because it is connected right there. I have to think about what I'm gonna do there, but here at least on the last holes you can pull it together really good, but not in the front here. In general, that's a very good improvement, and also you can get in the shoe much better than before. Now let's get to additional improvements for the next versions. So, in addition to the ones I told you, I also want to take the sole and make it a little bit higher. So, areas like this right here and right here don't go to the side as much as they do now, but rather like this. And that would be a lot better, and the shoe would look better on the one hand, but on the other hand, I could stand better in the shoe more than on top of the shoe. And that would be a lot better. I want to implement it mostly on the side in the back, but maybe also in the front, but I don't think it would be so important there. And second, I need to make this area right here, like the back here, a little bit lower, because it gets in the way of my foot, and that's not particularly nice. Also, I'm gonna run and walk again 100 kilometers in this particular shoe, and I'm gonna show you how it looks afterwards.
King of the road.
So now it's your turn. I need help for a name for this particular shoe, which I want to ask you about. The shoe itself should be in the range of like the Ultra Boost from Adidas and the Infinity React from Nike. So like casual, but also a bit in the running direction. I think that's from the stack height about perfectly, because it's not like an ultra marathon shoe or a sprint shoe either. So it's like in the middle, which is pretty good. And yeah, if you have any name suggestions, please write them in the comments. I also have a name for the marathon shoe, which I really want to make with 39.5 millimeter stake head in the back, and I'm not quite sure which drop I'm gonna take, but that's you're gonna see it in one of the later videos. Anyways, the name I want to take for this is Trinfinity, with like an 1.3 times the infinity sign, which in my opinion is a very cool name and a very cool sign. Also write in the comments how you think about that, and then I catch you in the next one.